Down and dirty on Whimsical Farm, taking care of some cast iron skillets. So here's one of my customer skillet we're working on. It's a fairly modern skillet, but it had a little bit of rust after the cleanup. We always put these in the oven and self-clean the oven for 2 hours at 900 degrees. And whatever grease and oil and junk is on there burns it down to ash and powder. Then the true nature of whatever rust is in the whole wide world that's on this, the world of this little skillet, it shows up for you. Little spots of rust, little flakes here and there. So here's how I get it off. I go full horsepower. I used to use spray and I ran out of spray, and now I've got 100% LYE. You see that? This is not something to play with. It's high-powered stuff. And you buy this, Aerobic is at Lowe's. They have it. You're not going to find it in the snowflake section with the all-natural lemon juice and chemicals that don't hurt anything. Go back into the plumbing section where the big plumber men buy heavy-duty stuff to clean out people's drain and charge serious dollars for the work, and they deserve every penny of it. And buy this. Buy the plumber stuff. It is high-powered. You don't have to have much. About a half of a teaspoon, and then to have some sudsing bubble, you throw the Dawn with the cute little duck, get you some of that. Throw that in that pan, put some hot water on it, and go to scrubbing. And just let it sit for a little while, and then start rinsing it off with ice-cold water. First you put hot water to activate it, and then you start rinsing it off with cold water. The cold water will slow things down and make it where it doesn't rust anymore. And then set it on a burner on the stove. That's a slight rust color to it, but we will finish that off with a little bit of oil and begin to rub that in. Once the pores open up a little bit on this cast iron, that'll take the last bit off. But if you'll look at that close, a lot of that is base metal with no seasoning. Here's another one in the background. See that? Most of the rust is gone. That's a slight rusty color, and if you rub that with your fingers, it wouldn't even be orange on your fingers. So 95% of the rust is gone from the LYE. So now you know, and we'll be back with you later to show you the rest of this video. Thank you again for coming to Whimsical Farm, and this is Carnivore Diet with Ashley channel. So look up Carnivore Diet with Ashley and give a little tap to that subscribe if you learned anything new or something that's helpful to you. Thank you very much. Over and out. This new modern Lodge cast iron skillet is going to get the next treatment. It's been baked in a self-clean oven until a little bit of rust burned off. It's been washed with straight lye soap, and now it's going to get to meet up with a Warrior polycarbide abrasive buffing wheel. And you can see this thing's rough. I've already used it quite a bit, but it's still good enough to do the job. Got the old Milwaukee out, broke him out to go on duty. He's on duty today. So first I'm going to give you just a little preview of this. This is a new modern skillet, but it has a very rough finish. We're going to take this down to mirror finish, so you don't need to see this forever, 15, 20, 30 minutes, but here's what this can do for you. Watch this. So, that's very loud on a video, but as you can see, hey, someone came sneaking by. Someone else came sneaking by. As you can see, that is already headed in the right direction. And let me turn this up at an angle where you can see that's starting to smooth out. Now, I only had one hand on the grinder because the other hand was the cameraman. But just the feel of this, now that is very warm, be careful if you ever do that. This still feels very rough, feels rough, okay? Rough factory texture, and you can hear the fingernail. Now listen to this. Hear the difference? That'll tell you something. If your vision on your TV doesn't show this, hear that sound? This will show you. Hear the difference? So I'll be doing that all over this skillet until I get it down to a mirror finish. We'll use this, and then I've got another special pad that's a little bit finer grade that goes on the end of a cordless drill, and we will use that to finish this. But I'm going to get this thing slick. We're going to take it down to basically a mirror finish, and then our next treatment after that, of course, will be our oil. We're going to use the avocado oil. Avocado oil is the best. Don't bother trying to use 15 different things. Avocado oil, they sell at Walmart, $9 for a nice 25-ounce jug, and it'll last you a long time to season skillets. So we'll coat this with avocado oil, just a very, very thin coat. Put it on the front burner of the stove, wipe it around until there's no extra, then pop it in a 500-degree oven and let her coast for about an hour. Then take it out and do that over and over and over again until you're happy, and you'll have a beautiful black slick finish that looks like varnish. That avocado oil will polymerize like plastic, but it is not plastic. It won't hurt your health, your body. If a little speck of it burns off into your food, it'll just be flavor. So thank y'all for watching here at the Whimsical Farm. Thanks for visiting us here at the Carnivore Diet channel with Ashley. Please tap lightly on that subscribe and like if you're learning anything new. We appreciate you very much, and we'll see you on the next step. Over and out for now. Okay, for those that don't know about the grinder and how to use this, I'm going to show you the technique that I use. You may be very skilled with the grinder. You may have never used an angle grinder. But you can bum one off of a friend, go get you one of these pads up there at the old Harbor Freight, and this is what I do. Now, you don't want to run into the side real deep because you'll start cutting slots, and you can't go this way with the edge of it touching. So, I mean, you can go so far, and then you're going to hit the other side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pattern that looks like polishing from right here to about 3/4. Right here to 3/4, back and forth, and try to do it just like a machine would do it if you had a CNC machine. And I'm going to go until something starts to be abnormal and I start to touch down here. Then I'm going to turn the pan 90 degrees, and I'm going to do the same thing, 3/4 to 3/4, until something weird happens and I start to touch down here. If you continue to do that, you'll hit the whole pan. So you can see I've already done that one. So let's do this pattern right here, and try to listen in. I know it's going to be loud, but I'll make a few comments, and let's see what we can do, and try to ignore the shadow, because it seems like a shadow goes with me everywhere I go. Here we go. So I want this up at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to do it this way so you can see it well. And let's see. Let's try about like that right there. All right, here we go. You want to use a very light touch. Don't put any pressure. Just let the machine float. Just listen to your motor. Very light touch. Notice I'm not putting no pressure. So my grip, just barely holding it. Alright, when you start hearing bumps down here, sounds like you're hitting stuff, stop. Love that sound. Then turn your pan 90 degrees and repeat the process, starting at the top. Here we go again. Very light touch. Watch your pattern. If you're in the sunshine, you can really see what you're doing. This is a very aggressive brush. So don't put any pressure at all. Take a little practice. Once you do it a few times, you'll get better and better. The reward is you'll have a very smooth pan that will be easy to clean for years to come. Hear that weird sound? I'm at the end. I'm gonna do one more to show you so you get the idea. And we're getting ready to do the next phase, and I'll show you that. That's real easy, all right? See how they got some weird patterns there? Those will go away. Watch this. Remember, don't put any pressure. Just let the weight of the motor, the weight of the angle grinder, do the work for you. I'm not working hard. See the pattern it's making? You notice some of those small divots are starting to go away. You can spend a little extra time on one of those. If you see a little dip, go ahead and let it go over a little slower. After you do that a few times, it's going to be very slick. All right, so we've done that pattern. The next pattern that I like to do is, like, if you had a great big yard, I used to love to do this with the riding lawnmower. Back when I had a big old square front yard, I'd take that mower and get out right in the middle, and I would start in a circle, and I would do like this. That's what we're going to do here. Here goes the circle pattern. Ready? Once you're finished, look how shiny it starts to get. You work for shiny. Try to get it shiny. Very light touch. I'm going to turn it 90 because the way this head touches, I'm kind of at about a 30-degree up angle. I do that. See how the circle is kind of offset? Now, it doesn't hurt to make that turn. So. Picked up a little bit of dirt when I set the grinder down, so it'll come out. A little bit of dirt right there, but man, is it getting smooth. I know you can see those little lines. And let's back up just a little bit here. I want you to enjoy as much as you can during this video. The cook shack, you'll notice one thing is the old vertical smoker has been painted. That is not primer, that is Mojave Desert Red. And then one more thing about the cook shack you may or may not have noticed, and that is it has a fascia board on the front. And I'm really proud of that. I found that over in the old house. That is 15 feet long, and it just happened to fit. I did not cut that board. That board is 15 feet. And say, oh my gosh, it's sticking out on this side a 1/16 of an inch. We're not building pianos, so we don't care. That's the beauty of being out in the cook shack. Cook shack allows you a lot of liberty to do a lot of things that you can't do anywhere else in life. So welcome back again to the old whimsical farm. We're so glad that you came to visit with us, and we hope that you enjoy the carnivore diet channel with Ashley. We'll be cooking in this pan soon. I get the last bit of polishing and treatment done with the avocado oil. We're going to do the sliding egg test. So we'll see you back here soon. Over and out for now. Here we are again on the old skillet, and this time we got a different tool. This is still a pretty coarse, I'd say medium coarse grind, and all we're going to do, I got a little bit of a shadow here. Let's see what we can do here. So it started up. This is a little bit quieter. We just run it nice and steady. Okay, nice and steady, and then deck up about a half a width and run this direction like this. Very easy. Don't have to put a lot of pressure. Then up again about half the width of what you ran, and then over again. And we are getting very slick on this thing. It is almost done. This is almost done. So you're doing a lot on that. Yeah, this is a special skillet. I'm doing a little extra because I want to see how thick we can go. Half up. I'm running on speed 2. This is a DeWalt. You can use a Milwaukee. You can use whatever brand you like. That's fine. Main thing is the motor turns round and round. And it's steady. This is cordless, just for convenience. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm going half of a width up, just kind of like when you do a lawnmower. You always overlap a little bit so that you don't leave a dead zone where you're not getting the job done. Almost done. Now, if you have a few little divots in there, a few little dips, look like little dings, don't worry about that, because if you grind them down, you're going to keep grinding and grinding. You'll find more of those. That's part of cast iron, the cast iron world. And if you keep grinding until all those are gone, you will grind until you don't have a pan left. So, all right, now we're going to go round and round, do the edges. Just to make sure all the edges are done. And that gets rid of them. And then we're going to go to our circle. Start in the middle. See how I'm doing it? Start in the middle. Keep the pad flat. Keep your trigger pulled in all the way. And we're just going to go and go in a circle. It's hard to go in a circle because it wants to grab a certain way. As you push, it wants to grab one way and not the other. So you got to kind of fight it a little bit. And we're going to go in a circle. Going in the circle. So we get to the outer perimeter, and then we're going to kind of buff this together. A little bit of smoothing out, kind of blending in the perimeter, the square with the circle. We're blending it together. All right, that's slick. Now we're going to switch over to another bit. I'll be right back. We'll go to a fine pad. Be right back. All right, here we are on the last one. And I wanted to show you a little tool that I got here. This is from Harbor Freight again. I love these little boxes. They're very cheap. And this is my special ammo box that I just keep all my abrasives in. There's very coarse. There's the bit I was just driving with. I think that's a 4-inch. And then we got some 2-inch stuff here. There's some pad, 2-inch stuff. Harbor Freight again. I got all kinds of different little doodads in there. Let's see what else is in here. Let's see here. There's a red one. That's a real coarse, I think. Here's a grinder pad. These are good. You can get them right there at the old Harbor Freight. Let's see what that's called. Let's see. I was upside down. Sorry, that's Warrior polycarbonate. There's that one. And there's a super. These are called turn locks or twist locks or roll locks. They just roll right onto the holder. And the holder is very simple. And here's what we got here. This is the little holder. I bought the whole kit. And it had a 2-inch and a 4-inch on it. And this is the 2s. This is what it comes with, the 2. You go there to Harbor Freight. They've got that all the way from China. I bought the non-COVID model. I didn't need any COVID, so I just bought the non-COVID. I don't do the vaccine or anything. So anyway, here's the blue, and the blue pad is getting down closer to fine. So let's have a look at this and see what this does. Close my toolbox up so nobody steals any of my new special pads, and that's locked. I love that little box. It was, can't remember the price on it. I think about $4 or something, $4 or $5. A lot cheaper than a metal can, and it will never rust. So here's our skillet. Golly, look at this thing. Now this time we're using a little more pressure, smaller disc. And we're just doing a finish up routine on the whole thing. Look at that. Let it eat. Don't rush it. Just let it eat. Let it go all around like you're mowing the yard. It's going to kick on you a little bit. Got Mr. Shadow with me. He goes everywhere I go. We got the sun is shining. Mr. Shadow goes with me. And we're just letting that thing go. Doing the perimeter. Since this is fine, I'm going to go ahead and do the perimeter all the way around. You can see the nice pattern it's making. and it's hard to keep it exactly perfect. I don't deal in the world of perfection. I heard this from a man that's a lot wiser than I am, and he said, oftentimes, as you're trying to push toward perfection, you run right through good and ruin it. You destroy good in the search of perfection. So here on Whimsical Farm, what we do is we strive for perfection, but we don't have to have it. If it just turns out real good, we call it good. We don't cry because we can't have it perfect. Perfect is if you have to have perfect to be happy, I just say God have mercy on you, because perfection is ruined in a second. So we want it to be real good. We want it to be better. There's nothing wrong with the factory finish as far as general purpose stuff. If that's what you're happy with, just go with what Lodge sends out. They're not lazy. They did the best that they could do for high-speed production. This is something different. This is called a labor of love. This is a customer that brought me a pan, and for Christmas time, he wants his aunt to have something that's a little bit special. Is it perfect? No. No, it's not. Is it better? Yes. Is it much better? You better believe it's much better. Is it smoother? Oh gosh. Will it have a very good seasoning on it? It will have the best seasoning that you can possibly buy, which is avocado oil. 550 degree smoke point. Is it getting smoother? I'll let you be the judge of that. I think it is. Guess what the next step is? A wash, a little bit of Dawn, some hot soapy water, which you don't do that with most skillets. If they're all prepped up and seasoned, you don't put no soap on them. If this is not prepped up and seasoned, friend, this is bare metal. So we got to get all that grinder dust out, all that carbide stuff. You don't want to eat that stuff. And that thing is almost done. See the pattern? I'm going north and south, to and fro. I'm just putting about 3 pounds of pressure on it. And the next step is the avocado oil. So we'll go around now, around and around. Get the perimeter good, and then start in the middle. And this will be finishing off. We're not going to do any more polishing. You could put some Comet and some special little pieces of cotton that have been picked up in the northern hemisphere by girls with silk gloves that have never seen a man and all that stuff, and get special and go for perfection. And that's not for me. We're not doing that. What we're doing is a big improvement over factory. Factory has to go fast. They have to get the product out the door. When it comes to me, I'm not in a hurry. I'm making a few extra dollars to make this thing the best that it can be without going crazy. And that's what we got. So we are done with this. Let's put it in the sunshine and see how that looks. Oh my gosh, that thing is slick as a mirror. And the next treatment is what kind of oil? What kind of oil will it be? Lard. No. Butter. No. Coconut. No. Canola oil. No. Grandma's coconut oil. No. It is sesame seed oil. No. Rapeseed oil. No. It's going to be avocado. Avocado goes up to 550, and it makes a special polymerized coating. Polymerized like plastic, and that will be wonderful. We'll bake that on, do that 4 coats, 5 coats. run it up to 500 degrees in the oven, and you will have a wonderful, wonderful skillet. And then the next test after that will be put the eggs to it with a little bit of butter and see what she'll do. See you back soon for the egg test. Over and out for now. Okay, here we are back at one of the next to last steps, and you can see that thing is polished very slick. So what do we want to do? I put it on number 3 on the stove, and all we're doing number 3 on the stove with electric stove is opening up some pores. Opening some pores. So, and getting it good and dry. I had to wash it down. This casting has some very rough areas. Right here on the edge, you can see those. I had to run my buff around the edge, and I ran all the way around to deburr that because the 2 plates, the top and bottom halves of the mold, had made a parting line all the way around that. So here's the next step. Again, we're on number 3, not so hot. And this is our special oil right here. Make no mistake about it. Do not use coconut, lard, rapeseed, canola, Grandpa's old butter from 1929. Don't use any of that nonsense. Use avocado oil. It is your best. It has the highest temperature, smoke temperature, 550 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the oil that you want to use. So you put you just about that much. How much is that? It's about that much. 1.64 teaspoons. If you put more or less than that, you'll ruin the whole world. So then a clean paper towel. And all we're trying to do is get a very thin coat. It's already hot on my finger, burning my fingers off. But you don't have to feel that. Just know it's hot. And we want to get it all over the whole unit, okay? Woo! Switching to don't burn your fingers off gloves, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Golly, that got hot in a hurry. That's on number 3, but it's already probably up to, well, let's see what the temperature is. Could we know that? Could anybody know what the temperature is? Well, yes, a control tech, that's an electronics technician, could say, your finger's at 250, 200 and something degrees. So that's why your fingers feel hot. I don't know if you like 200 and something degrees on your fingers, but once it goes above 212, that's above boiling. I don't use boiling water in my bathtub. I don't use boiling water in my fingers. So there we go. So we switched over to the old oven mitt, and we want to get just a thin, very thin coat of this oil, our special oil, all over this skillet. So I'm going to be a little bit crazy here, but that's you are on Whimsical Farm. So the back side, we're going to just put a thin coat. You don't have to get super crazy on that, just enough to protect it from some rust in case rust shows up. And rust will show up. That's one thing about this old world. You got rust, you got moths, and you got thieves. Those are the 3 things. If anybody can write me a thesis on that, send it to me in the comments section. Who talked about avoiding rust and moths and thieves? I would love to hear somebody smart enough to tell me that, maybe knowledgeable enough, read enough to know about moths and rust and thieves. Who talked about watching out for that? Who talked about laying up treasure somewhere to avoid, where you would never have to worry about moths and rust and thieves? Right now we're having to worry about it. We have to deal with it. So how do we deal with rust down here? Well, you put a special coating, a polymerized coating of avocado oil. That comes from the avocado plant, and that's some good stuff. And then what do we do to it next? We got a very thin coat. Next step is throw it in the oven. Put it upside down so if it needs to drip, it can drip. Put it in the oven. That oven is sitting there at 500 degrees. Let's check it. Let's bake. That don't show anything. You know what? The oven has already gone off. So we're going to go ahead and go on up with that. This will give you a good example of what we're doing. We want to bake that. The last one had already been in there. 500, start Cook time, how long? It's already hot, so we don't have to have any special preheat. Boom! We're gonna cook that beautiful pan for 1 hour at 500 degrees. Let's check the temperature. We hit bake and it says 500 degrees. So now you know what to do. You know what kind of oil to use. Use this kind of oil right here, avocado oil. Get it Walmart Great Value brand, $9 for 25.5 fluid ounces of avocado oil. That's the kind to use. Don't try other things, they don't work. We want this to burn in and be polymerized on that skillet. So we'll be back to show you the final product here pretty soon. Thank you very much. Over and out for now. Okay, here we are back at one of the next to last steps. And you can see that thing is polished very slick. So what do we want to do? I put it on number 3 on the stove. And all we're doing with number 3 on the stove, electric stove, is opening up some pores. Opening some pores. So, and getting it good and dry. I had to wash it down. This casting has some very rough areas. Right here on the edge, you can see those. I had to run my buff around the edge, and I ran all the way around to deburr that because the 2 plates, the top and bottom halves of the mold, had made a parting line all the way around that. So here's the next step. Again, we're on number 3, not so hot. And this is our special oil right here. Make no mistake about it. Do not use coconut, lard, rapeseed, canola, grandpa's old butter from 1929. Don't use any of that nonsense. Use avocado oil. It is your best. It has the highest temperature, smoke temperature, 550 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the oil that you want to use. So you put you just about that much. How much is that? It's about that much. 1.64 teaspoons. If you put more or less than that, you'll ruin the whole world. So then a clean paper towel. And all we're trying to do is get a very thin coat. It's already hot on my finger, burn my fingers off. But you don't have to feel that. Just know it's hot. And we want to get it all over the whole unit, okay? Woo! Switching to don't burn your fingers off gloves, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Golly, that got hot in a hurry. That's on number 3, but it's already probably up to, well, let's see what the temperature is. Could we know that? Could anybody know what the temperature is? Well, yes, a control tech, that's an electronics technician, could say, your finger's at 250, 200 and something degrees. So that's why your fingers feel hot. I don't know if you like 200 and something degrees on your fingers, but once it goes above 212, that's above boiling. I don't use boiling water in my bathtub. I don't use boiling water in my fingers. So there we go. So we switched over to the old oven mitt, and we want to get just a thin, very thin coat of this oil, our special oil, all over this skillet. So I'm going to be a little bit crazy here, but that's you are on Whimsical Farm. So the back side, we're going to just put a thin coat. You don't have to get super crazy on that, just enough to protect it from some rust in case rust shows up. And rust will show up. That's one thing about this old world. You got rust, you got moths, and you got thieves. Those are the 3 things. If anybody can write me a thesis on that, send it to me in the comments section. Who talked about avoiding rust and moths and thieves? I would love to hear somebody smart enough to tell me that, maybe knowledgeable enough, read enough to know about moths and rust and thieves. Who talked about watching out for that? Who talked about laying up treasure somewhere to avoid, where you would never have to worry about moths and rust and thieves? Right now we're having to worry about it. We have to deal with it. So how do we deal with rust down here? Well, you put a special coating, a polymerized coating of avocado oil. That comes from the avocado plant, and that's some good stuff. And then what do we do to it next? We got a very thin coat. Next step is throw it in the oven. Put it upside down so if it needs to drip, it can drip. Put it in the oven. That oven is sitting there at 500 degrees. Let's check it. Let's hit bake. That don't show anything. You know what? The oven has already gone off. So we're going to go ahead and go on up with that. This will give you a good example of what we're doing. We want to bake that. The last one had already been in there. 500, start, cook time. How long? It's already hot, so we don't have to have any special preheat. And 1 minute, the cook is blinking. Why? Because it says do something. So I hit start. Boom! We're going to cook that beautiful pan for 1 hour at 500 degrees. Let's check the temperature. We hit bake and it says 500 degrees. So now you know what to do. You know what kind of oil to use. Use this kind of oil right here. Avocado oil. Get it Walmart Great Value brand. $9 for 25.5 fluid ounces of avocado oil. That's the kind to use. Don't try other things. They don't work. We want this to burn in and be polymerized on that skillet. So we'll be back to show you the final product here pretty soon. Thank you very much. Over and out for now. Okay, here we go on the test of a nice large square skillet that has been treated and polished and treated. And let's have a look and see what she'll do. Let's see if I can get this egg out one-handed. And let's do one more one-handed without breaking the yolk. Can he do it? Him did it. Not too bad for one hand. So what else do we need to make this egg perfect? Salt and pepper. You gotta have a little salt and pepper on the egg or it'll just be way too plain. So there's my salt and pepper. Here we go. We'll do a little sprinkle. There goes the salt. A little sprinkle on each. A little bit of black pepper on each. Wish you had some smell vision so that you could see how good this smells already. And the key with the egg is, and I learned this from professional cooks, is don't interrupt the egg. I preheated the skillet a little bit. Let's move this around a little bit. And we'll see how this does. You can see that's pretty slick. It's not spatula free yet. I still have a couple more treatments to do on this, but we are really close. Now, when you first treat a skillet, it does take a little bit of time for it to get super slick, a little bit of use and stuff. But you can see that's it's got just a little bit that it needs to have done to it, and there it goes. That's looking better all the time. Let's turn this up at an angle. Oh, there we go. See? Now that's what we look for. If one's been treated properly, oh, we almost went off the edge. If one's been treated properly, oh, I busted the yolk. That's the end of the world. Not really. That's, we're going to call that a sunny side up. And I'll go ahead and shut the power off. And I'm pretty happy with that. We're not completely done with the skillet. Oh gosh, we are about to make a mess here. If it's so slippery that you got to be careful that your egg doesn't fly out of the pan, you're doing something special. You're doing something good. So there's little thorns that stick up when you first do one of these. And I'm on layer number 3 of the avocado oil. This is what I use. Layer number 3, and there'll always be some little thorns that stick up. And they're just little particles, and those have to be polished out still yet. And we'll do about 2 more coats of this, and we will call it complete. But this skillet has been polished down to a mirror finish, and then it's had 3 coats of the avocado oil. And you can see we're getting there. Oh gosh, see, we're really close. We're really close to no spatula needed. That is pretty doggone slippery. And I love that. I like a pan that is easy to work with. I like a pan that's easy to clean. And the whole thing with the avocado, I'm leaning it. Oh, gotta be careful. I'll dump it out on the floor. The whole thing with the avocado coating is you're trying to get it to where that egg is not sticking to the pan, and then also when you get ready to clean it, the pan will clean so much easier. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these because I want that yolk just slightly cooked. Let's see if I can do this. Oh yeah, there we go. And that's good enough. Let's turn this back over. That is an over easy egg. If I can do this. Don't know if I can, we'll see. There we go. Over easy egg. And I better get me a plate because it is breakfast time. So thank you for watching. Please tap that little subscribe button if you learned anything at all. And we really appreciate you visiting here with us at Carnivore Diet with Ashley. Thank you so much, and over and out for now.